Hello, beautiful, amazing artists. Welcome back to another Art Life Conversations podcast. I am your host, Kelli Folsom. I am a full-time working artist, have been doing so since 2011. Can you believe it? I know, it's amazing. All of my art dreams have come true, are still coming true, and so can yours. So today we're getting ready to talk about, basically why your art dreams matter. Okay, your art dreams matter. I want you to hear that from me, and I'm going to be sharing some of my personal experiences with you. In the end of this video, I'm going to give you my top tip for you to basically stay on the path. Stay on the path for your art dreams, and don't give up on them. Okay, so your art dreams matter. I sincerely believe that each and every one of us, things have been planted in us, okay, by, if you want to call it, a higher power, God, the universe, fate, whatever the case may be. All I know is that ever since I was a kid, I have loved to create art. I've loved art. I've loved looking at art. I've loved making art. It has been in me since I was a kid. And for a long time, I felt like my dream to be an artist, which I didn't even really allow myself to dream that, because I thought you can't do it. It's not possible. Nobody is an artist. Like literally nobody in my life that I knew was an artist. And so I didn't really even allow myself to be open to the possibility that maybe my dream could come true of being an artist, right? So it took me a long time to even get to that place where I even saw it as a possibility. And I know that many of you, sometimes even whenever I say your art dreams matter, you might even think I don't have any art dreams. Or whenever I call you an artist, right? You might be thinking, well, I'm not really an artist, right? Like I'm a wannabe artist, or I'm just a hobby artist, or I'm just a painter, right? Or I'm just this, or I'm just that. So even things like that, I know that deep inside of you, many of you think, that's not me. That's not possible for me. So there's so many ways that we try to squash our art dreams, right? Squash our dreams and close the lid on them and keep them locked up super, super tight. And every now and then we might even embark out onto the pursuit of our art dreams, only then to basically come back and kind of kill them, right? And kind of kill them ourselves. So the problem with that, though, you guys, is I really feel like if you have that seed planted inside you, if you have that desire, like we've been given these desires, these gifts, these pulls towards things for a reason. It's a part of who we are meant to become, a part of who we really are, our highest, best self, right? It is really kind of our dharma, our calling, and we get the choice. We get to choose, like, are we going to answer the call or not? And that thing that keeps knocking at your heart's door, right? That whisper in your ear, that thought late at night, gosh, I keep saying to myself, I would like to sign up for an art class, or I would like to do a little painting or a little sculpting or a little pottery making or a wood carving. I'd like to get into that. Those thoughts, right, that keep you up at night, and maybe you have been tuning them out for so long and just thinking to yourself, it's not possible, it's not possible, it's not possible for so long that the knocking is getting quieter at your heart's door, right? Or you've just been ignoring the knocking for so long that now you're numb to it, right? But what I know for sure is like it's going to keep knocking at you. I've worked with so many artists over the last several years, especially online since 2018. And sometimes I see people that answer the call. They say, okay, yes, this is what I've always wanted to do. And then, I help them to see, like, oh, this is possible. You got this. You can do this. And you can do it without an art degree, right? Um, you know, it is possible for you to have this place of purpose and fulfillment in your life, no matter how old you are, right? Like, it's never too late to start. So I'll see people come in and get jazzed up, and they'll like make huge progress, huge strides. And I also see this with artists that I've worked with and trying to help them with their art businesses, build their art business. And then sometimes for some of them, they start to backtrack. They start to pull away from the dream. They start to make excuses about the dream, okay? And why it's not possible, or why it doesn't matter, okay? That's the big one. Well, it's really not that important to me after all. For example, with like the art business stuff, it might be like, well, my life is so good already. Like, it's really great the way it is. I'm comfortable. I'm taken care of. I have a beautiful relationship, a beautiful home. I'm so fulfilled in my life, right? This is a way of squashing your dream. Basically saying everything is good enough just as it is. So I don't really want more. This is a way that you are putting out the flames of desire on your dream, shutting the door on your dream. Guess what? Your dream is still going to be after you. It is still going to be haunting you, right? Forever. And I know that sounds like cruel, like it's going to haunt you till the day that you die, but it's true, because there's a reason why it's within you. There's a reason why it's in you, you guys. It's not going to leave you alone. It is a part of who you are meant to become. And that's really what it's all about, right? Like it's the thing that you're supposed to be exploring in this human experience. And the more you try to ignore it, the more you try to resist it, it's still going to keep coming at you. It still is. So you can keep trying to squash it. You can keep trying to run away from it, making excuses about it, but it's still going to be at your heart's door, right? So it's really not going to go away. So basically, whenever we do that, whenever we run away from it, when we squash it, when we make it seem like it's not important, right? It's not important. Nobody else is doing that. Everybody else is just, retired or doing their job, doing their day job. All the other artists aren't really super concerned about making money as an artist, right? When we do things like that, right, we're running away from that dream. And all it's doing, you guys, is making you smaller, right? It's making you smaller, less fulfilled, and really that much less happy in your life, whether you want to admit it or not. And this has nothing to do with like, oh, you're not happy with everything else in your life. This is not like, oh, gratitude, stuff. It's like, no, this is part of you. It's your passion. It's your purpose. So if you walk away from it, it's just going to keep knocking at your door. It's still just going to keep chasing after you until you say yes to it. That's its job. That's its job, is to keep knocking at your heart's door. So pretty much all you're doing is making yourself miserable by not saying yes, and you're just prolonging the amount of time that it would take for you to realize that dream, right? Yeah. So anyways, I've had a lot of experience with this, both first, like I said, first was saying yes to my art dream. And then first I said yes to my art dream, even though I didn't believe that it mattered. And then came the believing that it mattered for me. So I felt like, I still did not believe that my art dream mattered whenever I signed on the dotted line, yes, I will pay $25,000 for this year of art school. Okay. I still did not think that my dream mattered. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that crazy? but like making that commitment and saying yes first, really, because I was like, I don't really know what else to do with myself. Like, I don't want to say yes to anything else. I think anything else would just kind of make me miserable. So I had finally said yes. And I had, had other jobs, things like that. So I finally said yes to my art. And sure enough, it was like, oh my gosh, I am in exactly where I'm supposed to be. I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Does it suck? Yes. Is it hard? Yes. Am I the greatest person at it? No, definitely not. Okay. But it is part of my becoming who I was always meant to be. And I knew, and I felt right. Anyways, I'm going to start crying, but, you know it when you know it, right? You know it in that moment when you know you're doing the right thing and following your dream. So I didn't believe that it mattered for a couple of years, at least through art school. Then I started believing that it mattered, and I still struggled with that. And I was filled with self-doubt, right? Constantly comparing myself to other artists, constantly questioning, what good is this? What good does this do for the world? Making art, this seems so frivolous. And I would always kind of belittle what I was doing. I would think, I don't know, I don't really understand. And sometimes you may not understand the fullness of why your art dream matters, or whatever your dream is, right? We don't get all of the answers at once. Our job is really just to say yes and to take that first step towards that dream, towards that art dream, right? Even if we don't understand why it matters, even if we don't believe that it matters. And that's hard. It's hard to continue to invest your time and energy in something whenever you yourself don't have the belief for it. Okay, so anyways, and then the same thing with the art business stuff. I mean, my goal was to make $1 million in 1 year in my business in revenue. Okay, why is that my dream? I don't know, but it was given to me. Okay. So I shouldn't say I don't know. I do know. I do know that part of the reason why that dream matters is not only for me, but for every other artist out there who is trying to make a living as an artist, for every female artist who thinks that they can't make money doing what they love, that they're not good enough to make $100,000. And I will tell you, when I first started out, I never dreamed I would even make $100,000 a year as an artist, right? And last year, my business brought in over $500,000. That's insane. It's freaking insane. It freaking blows my mind. And I'm not sharing that with you because for me, it's not really even about the money, right? Like, it's not even about like, oh, look at me, I'm so good. No, I want to be an example of what's possible, because I see so many artists out there, and I was one of them too, that because I couldn't sell my work, because I couldn't make a living as an artist, it was freaking depressing, you guys. And it really made me lose desire for, making my art, and then there would be people going, you just have to do it because you love it. Well, no shit. It's like, yes, of course we love it. Why do you think we do it to begin with? But when we don't have an audience as creators, right, we need an audience. We have to have an audience as creators. We have to have somebody who appreciates it, who is willing to invest in it, who is willing to put money on the table and go, that is so freaking amazing. I have to have that in my life. I need that in my life. That's going to make my life better. I'm buying that painting or whatever art it is that you make, right? So I told you that I was going to give you like one tip at the end to try to help you stay focused on your art dream. Can continue to say yes to your art dream and stay focused on that. And for me, I really think that the solution to the problem is to basically have faith and believe it before you really believe it. Okay, I know that sounds super weird. But if you can just open up and be willing to believe, that your art dream matters, whatever that is for you. If you can just open up and allow a little space, a little curiosity, even if you can't say, yes, I'm going to choose to believe that my art dream matters, if you can open up and just have a little space and curiosity for, what if this was really important? What if this really mattered? What if me following this calling to create art and to learn how to paint, and what if that was really going to be something? What if that really did matter? What if it did work out? What if it worked out? How would that be? How would that make me feel? What would that bring into my life? How would I feel if I was making art every day and selling art on a regular basis? What sense of pride would I feel? What sense of fulfillment and purpose would I feel? Right? So if you could just begin just with one little seed of, and hopefully by listening to me and hopefully other artists who are out there talking about these things, hopefully it's just opening up that door to you to say, your art dream matters too. And it doesn't matter how many of us are out there. It doesn't matter how many artists are doing this, right? Like, you have something special to give. And do you really believe that there is enough to go around, and that your contribution will be needed? Your contribution to the art world, to the world, will be important in some way, to your community, to your neighborhood, to your family. Maybe you can't see yet that it's going to matter on the great, world view, but just think, like, maybe this will just matter just to my family. Maybe my children will see me doing this. Maybe, who knows, maybe I have a call to do this because my daughter is going to be a future artist, or my son or my grandson, right? So open up with a little curiosity and a little faith, because there's a reason why you've been given this desire. You've been given this pull towards creativity, towards creating, towards painting or sculpting or whatever it is for you, whatever media it is that you feel drawn to, right? There's a reason why that's been put there. There's a purpose behind it. It's going to help people, okay? Some way, somehow, even if you can't see it, right? So that would be my top tip, is just continue to just open up, right? And then my bonus tip is watch what you say, right? Watch your words. Pay attention to how you play small and how you squash your dreams and how you belittle what you do, right? So keep an eye on that, because those are dream killers. You're trying to squash down your dream whenever you're saying things like, oh, that's not possible, I could never do that. Or, people in my town will never buy art. They'll never spend money on art. I live in a rural community. I live in a small town. That'll just never work here, right? So watch for things like that, thoughts like that, words that you're actually speaking out of your mouth. Well, I don't really need this. My life is so great. I'm so grateful for everything that I have. Okay, good. You be grateful for everything that you have. I am too. Meanwhile, you're going squash, squash, squash on your dreams. That's what's really happening there. Okay. All right, my friends, I hope that this has been helpful to you today. In the meantime, I'm wishing you all happy painting. Check out all of the amazing links and offers and freebies and all the things that we have for you down below that can help you on your art life journey. Thank you for participating in this and being a part of this with me. I love getting your feedback, so make sure that you send in to info@artlifewithkelly. Any questions that you have for me, any topics that you want me to discuss on this podcast, any problems you're facing as an artist, just go for it. Like, let her rip, y'all. That I'm totally open, 100% open, raw, honest, vulnerable about this whole art life journey. So feel free to ask me anything and share anything that you want to. All right. Much love, everybody. Happy painting, and bye for now.